Hey everyone, this is Nathan Williams with BlackRain79.com, and today I want to talk about, is online poker rigged or not? Let's finally get to the truth, the bottom of the matter, guys. This hand was sent to me by Ed. Now I get hands like this sent me by people like Ed and all sorts of people every single day. Every single online poker site in the history of online poker sites ever created, you name them, people are telling me they're all rigged. Even the live games are rigged. Every single poker game ever created on Earth is rigged, so we're going to get to the bottom of it in this video. Alright, so as you guys can see there, Ed is playing a 5 cent, 10 cent, Euro cents game here. This game actually was played in the iPoker network, just in case you guys were curious about that, and it's six-handed, you guys can see there. Alright, so Villain 13 limps into the pot here. Usually that is the sign of a fishy player. It's something I've talked about a lot in my books and my videos, blog posts before. Limping, usually not a good thing at the lower stakes. So Villain 14 comes in for the 3x raise, a little bit low. I would prefer a bigger raise here if you want to be isolating the fish, but again, that's what that player decides to do. So it comes back to Ed here in the small blind with his pocket 7. So what should we be doing here? Well, I'm going to actually just agree with Ed's decision. I think it's certainly just completely fine to just call here, look for your set at the micros. Because we win a lot of money, guys, by making our sets at the micros, unless the poker site's rigged, of course. We need to be careful with that. But Villain 12 comes along for the ride here. Villain 13, of course, does as well. I mean, this is the micros. Everybody's in there. It's a family pot almost. And let's see the flop. So super good flop here, of course. Ed's got the middle set there. There's a diamond draw there, but and a straight draw and stuff, couple gut shots. But for all intents and purposes here, we have the nuts, the hand that we've been waiting for, that we can ram and jam and win a huge pot, unless the poker site's rigged, of course. So anyways, let's see what Ed decides to do. He decides to just check. I definitely think that's the correct decision in this spot here. And the reason why, guys, is because we're in the small blind. We are, of course, first to act on every single street after the flop because of that. And there are 3 players left to act behind us. Now, when we check, that allows one of those 3 players to hopefully make a bet, which allows it to come back to us, and we can toss in the lovely little check raise and trap the most amount of money in the middle with currently the second best possible hand. So it goes around to Villain 13. He makes a fish bet of 10 euro cents into the 120 pot. Villain 14 decides to call the fish bet, and it's back on Ed. So what should he be doing there? By the way, a fish bet is anytime anybody bets something that is mathematically useless, like 10 cents into $1.20, you can literally call with a pair of napkins when you're getting, as you guys can see there, 14 to 1 odds on the pot. Yes, mathematically useless. I would not recommend that kind of bet sizing. So what should Ed be doing here? Well, as you guys can know, as I talked about before, check raising is definitely the correct play here, and that's exactly what Ed does. He makes it $1.12 euros there. Now, I would like to see it actually a little bit bigger than that. I would actually just go like $1.50 euros there. Just make it a little bit more pot size and just see if anyone wants to call. Try to get all the money in before, you know, the 8 of diamonds falls off on the turn there and you lose to a flush or a straight, but it's okay. We got a decent sized check raise in there. We'll see what happens here. And before I continue, I just want to mention that Ed did not give me any reads on any of these players involved here. I know that I normally have reads, but we're essentially just playing against unknown opponents in this hand here. So Villain 13 does make the call. Villain 14 gets out of the way. Let's go to the turn. So the turn is a 10. Excellent card, of course, for our hand because we now have the full house. The only hands, there's only 3 possible hands that can beat us at this point. Quad 10s, 10-7, and the even more unlikely 10-3. 10-7 is very unlikely as it is, because we have 2 7s in our hand. Obviously, quads are extremely hard to make, and 10-3, people really shouldn't be playing that hand, but you know, if you're playing on a rigged poker site, you never know. It's possible we're losing to that one too. But anyways, it is on Ed here. What should he be doing? Well, he decided to come out for the roughly half pot bet. I think it's a pretty good decision there. I'm not really a huge fan of making double check raises, especially when I don't know anything about the opponent here. I'd rather just get some more money in the middle here. I think that half pot is actually a good plan here because, as you guys can see there, if Villain 13 decides to make a call here, that's exactly what he does. That's going to create a pot size. Sorry, I revealed the river there, but I wanted to show you the pot size is now going to be 7 euros on the river, and that sets up a pretty good shove with us having 5.56 euros remaining. So as you guys can see there, it came with a 9 on the river, which, it's a decent card. I mean, we already have a full house, so it really doesn't matter too much. But hopefully, that made him a straight or something silly like that. So Ed does the only sensible thing, which is basically to shove, well, he decides to keep 61 euro cents in there. I'm not really sure why, but it's splitting hairs, I guess. He shoves almost the rest in. Villain 13 immediately comes all over the top, guys. Oh, God. We can see it coming. What is going on with this rigged online poker or this rigged poker in general? I think I'm going to quit poker completely if we lose this hand. I can't believe what's going on here. So as you guys can see there, we are getting 28.84 to 1 here, and we have a full house. I don't think anybody in the history of poker has ever folded in this situation. I'm definitely not going to blame Ed for making the call here. I'm going to make the call too. You guys want to see the results? Let's check it out. Guys, it's another example of a cooler hand. That's a tough hand that people send to me. I get a lot of these. I'm starting to think myself that maybe all poker games are rigged. I might actually quit this game myself soon because I'm starting to get convinced, like these people have been telling me for years, it's all rigged, guys, it's all rigged. Anyways, I hope you guys can see this was a tongue-in-cheek video, facetious, whatever you want to call it. Guys, these are the kind of hands that are going to happen to you sometimes in poker. One thing that I always point out in these videos, you need to remember that poker is a long-term game, and the shoe will always be on the other foot in the future, whether it's versus this player or some other player. We're going to be the ones with the 10-7, and they're going to be the ones with the pocket sevens. And as always, the only thing you ever need to ask yourself is, are they going to fold to us in that situation? Of course they're not. People don't fold full houses at the lower stakes, as they shouldn't. You should not be folding a full house pretty much ever in poker. So this is what we call variance. This happens. And really what separates the biggest winners in poker from the handful of big winners in poker from all the mediocre players, the break-even players, and all the small losers and the large losers in poker is really how they handle situations like that, how they react mentally to spots like this. When you're on the losing end, you look at the board and you're like, how the heck do I keep losing these hands again and again? And really, guys, this is the point where you get to better yourself, where you get to separate yourself from other poker players by taking one of two options here, understanding this from a rational point of view. Like I just pointed out, that poker's a long-term game, and variance like this is going to happen, and it's going to be good variance for us sometimes and bad variance sometimes like this. Now, if you can't get yourself into the rational option, then the other option is to quit the table at this point and to stop playing poker for the day. Because when you can prevent yourself from playing at your worst and playing on tilt, which is what most people can't do, and again, that's why most people don't win at poker, you win. You guys got to understand that hands like this are going to happen. I've faced this 1,000,001 times. I can't even begin to describe to you. But the way that I've been able to create long-term success and winnings in this game is by understanding that I'm going to win over the process of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and millions of hands by just playing the same solid winning strategy that I've always done for 15 plus years now. And understanding that there's going to be days when stuff like this happens. It doesn't necessarily mean that all of poker is rigged or the site that I'm playing on is rigged. It just means I ran into some variance, which is going to happen in poker sometimes. Anyways, guys, that's about all I got to say about this hand. If you guys think online poker is totally rigged, though, or all of poker is rigged, and bingo is rigged, and checkers is rigged, and chess is rigged, let me know in the comments below. I want to know what you guys think. Having played 10 plus million hands of poker, I can definitely say it's rigged for me, I guess. But once again, I have found that the number one way to succeed in this game is by understanding that stuff like this is going to happen sometimes, guys, and sometimes going to happen for days, weeks, months on end, and you can't do anything about it. It doesn't mean it's rigged. It's just a challenge for you to react better than the next guy or girl. That's how you get ahead in this game. Anyways, that's my thoughts. You let me know in the comments below if I'm right or I'm wrong. Anyways, if you guys want to see future micro stakes poker videos like this, make sure you like this channel or like this video, and also subscribe to my channels here. I'm putting out more videos just like this all the time. And lastly, if you guys want to know my complete strategy for how I crush these stakes, make sure you grab a copy of my free poker cheat sheet. It's called Massive Profit at the Micros. It's the top link in the description below. And once again, that'll give you my complete strategy from pre-flop, flop, turn, river on how to crush these stakes. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. It's been Nathan Williams with BlackRain79.com.